morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to preseason here at Rush Racing League. And we are here at the Sakir International Circuit for Bahrain. After yesterday was a bit of a messy race, from what I've been told, we are going to be here today hoping for a much better and a much cleaner affair. But I know these guys. I know there is the potential there for some really good, hard fought racing. And it is going to be an absolute blast. My name is Patrick Goldman, aka Rekis, and I'll be one of your hosts and commentators for tonight's action. Alongside me is the one, the only, Phoenix. How you doing today, mate? Alright, yeah, no, sorry. My I try talking now because I think something messed up on the back end here. Okay, that's yeah. So not at all your fault. It's just being a little being a little being a little weird. So well, we're gonna go to get this. We're gonna try to get these teething issues sorted. Running a new overlay system, so or running a new system in general. So it does take time to get these things kind of sorted. But we shall see. Go to try now, Phoenix.
Bonjour.
There we go. There we go. We got stuff fixed.
So when I speak in French, it decides to pick me up. Noted. Well, it's lovely to be here back at Bahrain. I mean, I did last night, I want to say almost by accident. Nice-ish, I want to say, run last night. We saw some great battling and hope we see the same tonight.
Indeed. Yeah, it's gonna be a really good night. Looking forward to it. As we do get the teething or the stuff settled in the background, we got things fixed. We are good. Checked it on myself, and yeah, we are here. It is myself and Phoenix in the commentary booth. And yeah, Bahrain. It's a very interesting track. It's another popular track for testing because you do get a little bit of everything at this circuit. You have the high speed corners, the low speed corners, the medium speed, and you do have four fantastic straights. Four straight modes on this racetrack along the start finish line, and it's pretty much the same three DRS zones from the last regulation cycle with the additional straight mode on the back edge of the track, right around where the Aston Martin of Liam Drienberg is going. The new Aston Martin TP gonna go ahead and make his rounds around the Bahrain circuit. And from what I know, F126 did not simulate the cool vibrations that the real life Aston Martin has. So we'll see. We'll see how they do here tonight. But any drivers that you want to keep an eye on tonight, Phoenix, because we do have quite a few drivers, new and old.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to remember if any of them. I don't think any of them drove last night. Well, some of them probably would have. We no, sorry, we do have quite a few. I can barely remember who was driving last time. I just remember at one point the only battle on the track was the top three because that battery is just so important. You have to lift and coast. But I think something to keep an eye out is how much battery they have coming down that third straight before the final corner. Because you either have no battery or some battery, and there's really no in between.
Yeah, you're 100% right there, Phoenix. And I mean, I will say the energy management is something I've been struggling with in trying to learn these new cars because it feels weird, right? Especially in qualifying when you're so used to just push, push, push. Like you're used to pushing flat out and just using the car for everything that it's worth. But no, you can't exactly do that with this regulation cycle. At least not currently. Maybe they'll make. I know they're making some tweaks for 2027. Might make things a bit easier as Liam Durienberg does come in second at the moment. It is full qualifying here tonight, and I think that might be the go for the rest of the season. For the most part, running full quality, unless I think it's like a sprint or a 100% race, which we do have quite a few of those. But we're gonna just go ahead and just kind of see how everything pans out. There was a green flag, a yellow flag for one of the green cars on circuit. The only batch of green cars on track now that Sauber has departed. Although, probably to the surprise of nobody, I have found a Kick Sauber mod for that actually is a My Team
Of
car.
course you have.
Do I have it equipped? No, otherwise I wouldn't be here, unfortunately, because even if it's a My Team mod, the game will pretty much kick you out, saying that you can't verify your files, which is pretty good. It's good that the game does that, but it is going to be interesting just to see how these drivers make their way through quality. And yeah, that battery management is going to be such a crucial thing here, as we are on board with one of the fan favorites of Rush, at least from last season. We are on board with Kungbus as he makes his way into the final sector. He does not have a lot of battery left, so I think he's one of those drivers that's really gonna have to try to fight the battery here, because he's got 0% battery now coming into the final corner, and he's just got no battery. Sick party, or sorry, not sick party. Liam had about 20% battery by the time he was on the straight. Kungbus goes up in the 10th. So if you are in the bottom 16, you will be dropped from the session. You'll be eliminated at the first hurdle of Q1.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we've got almost half of our drivers having set a time, quite a few on outlaps, or double outlaps, or flying laps. Sometimes I mean, the Noah Huni is flying around into sector 3. He would hope to not get yellows, as I think that is a Ferrari that went deep. Yes, that is a Ferrari. I can see colours correctly. But there is no yellows, hoping for a clean run. Doesn't have any battery coming down that straight at all, so we'll gain some through that corner, and then runs out of battery quite quickly, and but does go on to P8 for the time being, so not the best of laps.
Yeah, it's not the greatest of laps, but you still have plenty of time here to set a lap. And also, considering that this is preseason, you will have drivers from quite a few different divisions competing in. So we'll just kind of have to see how this one does all shape up. But it is going to be a good night here. I can say that. I have full confidence that this will be a much better night comparatively to last night, because I heard last night was a bit of a rough one here. And I have actually I have forgotten to do a thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix that real quick. As
Oh,
for some reason, okay, actually,
it's
no, something has just gone a bit awry here. Um,
tech issues. Simply lovely.
yep, tech issues. Oh, you know what? I did a
You
silly.
forgot
So
to you
this one's
didn't
on
put
me.
the overlays on loop, did
I
you?
forgot to put the overlays on loop. That's on me. And it was funny. So the other day I was coaching Phoenix on how to use OBS, and the one thing I told Phoenix was, "Hey, put your overlays
Make
on loop."
on
And
loop.
then I forget to put the overlay on loop. So it happens to the best
My
of us here,
teacher,
folks. Um, it does
as we've
happen
got all but
to the best of us.
as we've got all but 3 drivers having set a lap time. I think with Krutakama would be next to cross the line. Hmm.
Yeah, so Credit Karma is going to go to make his way through the remainder of Sector 2. and then it's gonna be a good run here to the rest of the line, and we'll see now. He's gonna go through straight mode. He's got a good amount of battery. He's burned a little bit of boost, but he has depleted that battery. So he's gonna have to go hard on the brakes here. He's got about right under 20% battery. And now he's gonna go ahead and just send it straight to the line. And it's up to 17th for Credit Karma. I definitely think that the biggest learning curve that's going to be here is going to be that battery management. So I think that's going to be the trickiest one. As Aina's Raiden does jump to the top of the timing tables. A 128.009 is best effort of the night.
Yeah, and hopefully my mic's fixed. I do have one more thing to try if it still decides to be a silly billy. And this headset has yet to fail me. But I mean, we've got Dido who did do a purple sector 1, but we saw last night you could have a purple sector 1, sector 2 and get like P5 from it. So you've just the battery management isn't there for that final sector, which is I guess where it's more crucial. And he's coming down into down the back straight, coming in to the into sector 3 now. Don't get distracted. We'll have a little bit of battery. We'll see how far this battery can get him. Will of course burn it all. Doesn't burn it, lets it run out, coming into the corner with a very little bit. Will of course gain it through the corner and will pull it all down to the line and will jump into P5. So it is a very nice first lap there from Dido.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting session as we do have Fat Cat jumping in. I believe, I'm trying to see what team he will jump in with. He will be our 22nd driver. So he will take the place, or he will take, I think it's the second, I'm trying to see what team he's actually going to jump in. I think he's going to be I think it's the other V carb. Oh no, we got both V carbs, so it's the Haas. So he'll be the second Haas on track. He'll be joining RJ
Oh no.
in the Haas garage.
So
That's
he'll be the fourth white dot on our map because there, I reckon, no difference between Haas and Cadillac, which can make it confusing to commentate. Because I'm like, this car's having a battle, but which one is it? Because I go off colours to go to the driver, but sometimes it's just not fun. As we've got a few of the cars sort of towards the bottom half coming out, slowly starting to come out again, and we'll see that go faster and faster. But I don't think we'll have the top three come out again. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're safe for now in the 28s. I don't think everyone will be setting 28s in Q1.
Yeah, it's not likely, especially because we have drivers from all different divisions competing here. So pretty much anybody from Div 1 down to Div 5 will be competing here in this session. So, and I don't know if Fat Cat's even going to be able to come out to get a time on the board. So it'll be interesting to see. Although I have full confidence that Fat Cat, if he does opt in to try to go for a lap, he'll be able to get out of the drop zone very quickly, as it'll be the bottom 6 that will get dropped from the session. If you're not in the top 16, then you are going bye-bye in Q1, as it is with the regulations, as we do have a bit of a drag race here between the Haas and the Audi. Zach's user is retired as well, so RJ is drag racing to the line with one of the Audis, and then he'll come across the line to improve very marginally, but I think he will be safe from elimination. I think Aiden's rating was that Audi that he was behind. So pretty much, few drivers, like the driver that's really right on the bubble is Alpine team principal Noah Huney is right on the bubble. So I think he's actually gonna get probably eliminated. I would venture to say, unless he comes out now to try to get that lap. We do have one of the Cadillacs of TMT legend, the reigning Div 5 Drivers Champion. He raced with Sauber last season, and now that team has become Audi. And then for tonight, he has jumped into the Cadillac. So he is on a bit of a push up. He does have a Mercedes ahead. The Mercedes will clear. And that's going to be the Cadillac into the pits. And I think TMT Legend might be done here. He might not continue on. So, and I mean, I know it probably doesn't sound great to say, like, oh, there's a champion that's getting knocked out. Well, TMT Legend is a fantastic driver. League's better than I am. I can say that with 100% certainty. But you also got to remember, there's drivers from literally every single division that is racing here tonight. So it's gonna be difficult to really find like a lot of pace if you're a Div 5 driver against a Div 1, let's say. But I mean, anything's possible here in motorsport.
Yeah, it's also new cars, new regulations, which has thrown some surprising results in there. I mean, I saw someone last night go from like P20 and ended up in P5 by the end of the same qualifying session. So it's all really about, I will say this on repeat probably forever, but battery. Unfortunately, Fat Cat has invalidated a flying lap, so we'll keep it together and take it around for another attempt. He will, of course, get around in time. He doesn't want to run too many heat cycles through those tyres, though. As we got Sig Party looking to improve his lap. There's a yellow that's just, I think, the V carb letting the Aston right on through. Sig Party gets a yellow sector 1. You don't really need the deployment through that corner, but of course will deploy the battery. That Ferrari zips right out of the way, and he does improve. He is up 8 tenths for sector 1. See if he can keep that pace through sector 2. Coming around that hairpin down into my favourite two corners of this circuit. Does it nicely, doesn't take corner 10 too tightly, of course runs it wide without invalidating, because that painted bit of the track is slightly faster if you can do it without invalidating, using all of that curb to turn in to corner 12, 13, and I think through 14 into sector 3. He is now 1.5 seconds up on his time, or down on his time, whichever way's correct. We'll get a yellow though, but also doesn't have a lot of that battery to play with either. Coming into the final corner, will of course gain about 20-25%, burn that all down to nothing, and will jump into P13 for the time being. So that's you're safe for now, but you really should be nervous, as he already drops down to P14.
Yeah, he's not exactly out of the woodworks yet here, Phoenix. It is good enough to probably get him out of this session, but you gotta stay within the top 16. And then you do have some fast contenders coming up through. Fat Cat's gonna make his way to the line. And where is he gonna end up? The answer is P1. He jumps to the top of times, just barely beating out Aiden as Raiden. And Goats for Life will be eliminated. No, Huni makes up the 14th, putting Sick Party right on the bubble. Who else can be making improvements here? Hogo Pogo, one of the new faces in Rush, he's done. So I don't think he'll be pushing on any further. And Daniel Rocks, P7 for Daniel Rocks. That is a good time there for Daniel. Let's see about SJ, the champs of London. Can he go through it? Can he make it out? The answer is yes, but he's right on the bubble. P14 currently for the boss man. Sick Party in that drop zone. And he is going to be in a bit of a pickle here. And then we have the Papaya Machine coming on through. And that will be Huddy the Goat. He will jump up a position. It's a double Mercedes back row, something that you probably would not expect here in 2026. Kung Bus will not be improving. He is invalidated. Credit Karma improves only to 19th. So your drivers who have been eliminated, we have lost Sick Party, Axed, the two Mercedes of Crutter and Kungbus, Goats for Life, and TMT Legend have all been dropped at the first hurdle of qualifying. So once again, that is Kungbus, P22, then TMT Legend, Goats for Life, Crutter, Axed, and Sick Party out of the session. And Hogo Pogo just barely making on through. And there are definitely some drivers who really need to find that improvement coming in to the next qualifying session. But they can at least breathe a sigh of relief as we even see a little bit of racing between the Alpine and the Ferrari. Welcome back, 2005 Renault and Ferrari scrapping out of Bahrain. But now we're going to go ahead and go through our first batch of quality results here. Once again, it is P17 through P22 that have been eliminated. And what a session it has been to kick us off, but we still got a handful of qualifying sessions left to go here, Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, in Q1 we saw. I don't know what to think of Q1 because again, it's really a fresh batch of drivers, and I'm not quite sure how they're going to fare with these 26 regulations. But another thing to keep an eye out is for those faster drivers, is what tires, because it's a full quali. They only have a certain amount of softs to use. And I think in Q2 yesterday we saw someone go out on those medium compound tires because I think it's three softs and a medium for all three quali sessions, if I'm not wrong. Is now we wait to load in. Well, we've loaded in to Q3, which is I think 3 minutes shorter than Q1.
Yes, I do believe it is. So,
Yes, it is. I
also,
just double checked my maths.
yep, so we're going to see how this one pans out. You got to be in the top 10 to move on to the next session, so pretty similar to the previous format, except instead of dropping the bottom 5, we drop the bottom 6. And to think when BYD eventually joins the sport as the 12th team, it'll be the bottom 7 drivers. So make of that as you will. But
Mm-mm.
we're going to go to continue on here. Um, RJ going to be the first driver on the outlap in the Haas. So we currently have 16 drivers here in quali. And this is going to be a good run. And I'm actually noticing something interesting. A interesting bug with the Haas. I think you guys might have seen it there, but part of the Haas's paint kind of dips away under certain lighting circumstances as Ghost for Life has left. That's one of the drivers we have lost in Q1. So hopefully they'll be able to get back in. They'll have plenty of time though. They got 2 more sessions left of quali before we jump into the main event, which is a 50% Grand Prix, which I believe is around 29 laps. I want to say around 29.
It's
Uh,
29.
yeah, 29. That's what I was. That's what I was thinking anyway. 29 laps around the Secure International Circuit, a track that is used for Formula One, Formula Two. Well, when it's not, being involved in world events. It has also been used in the World Endurance Championship. It is usually actually It's funny because for a while it was the season opener for Formula One, and I think it's returning to that same status this coming year. And then it's the season finale for the World Endurance Championship. So that's always a that's always an interesting one, seeing how different motorsports calendars kind of change. There are some other layouts to this track. There is an endurance layout, which they used for F1 once, I think around 2010. Nobody liked it, so we went back to this layout. And then in 2020, we have also used the crazy outer layout, which I still think should come back. I think it would actually really probably honestly benefit these cars. Not at all, but it would still be a fun track to go back to. So it's interesting the history of motorsport as Ryan Adair is looking to bring glory back to the Scuderia, and that's the fun thing about this first new season, first set of regulations, like you said, Phoenix, brand new cars, and a blank, clean slate to go ahead and start writing your own story for the Season 11 Championship. I know there's no drivers officially signed outside of, well, the TPs are racing for their own team. Obviously, I doubt XD Lamb being the TP of Ferrari is going to go race for Audi. I doubt that's going to happen. Although I don't know if he'd want to be racing for a team owned by his brother. But I mean, we have seen crazier things happen in Rush. But just based on pure vibes alone and no statistical information, what constructor is winning the overalls?
Huh? So I picked the worst time humanly possible to, let's say, lose it so slightly as I was paying attention to drivers coming around to set their bank of times, but I know provisionally, I don't know, because I don't know who's in what team, and you've got strong drivers, but they might not be strong. I am sounding like a TP here, but you've got drivers, they may have won a championship last year, they may not be quick in these cars, but then you could have someone surprising that you didn't expect to be really fast at the game. You could have a Div 5 driver just spawn into Div 3 due to the pace with these new regulations.
Yeah, that you do bring up a very valid point there, Phoenix, and it's gonna be. I mean, there's some drivers like, cause it's a different style of driving these cars. It's almost like cycling almost with these cars, where you just gotta be really conscious of your energy management. And I know cycling is very similar, where there's a lot of times where you want to really fully push, and then there's other times you just kind of want to coast, let the bike do its thing, and then allow you, the human, to recharge your own personal battery. Kind of the same thing with these Formula One cars with this regulation cycle. Instead of saving yourself, you're saving the battery component on these beautiful Formula One machines, and then you also got the active aero. You got straight mode, so and I mean, especially when you get the boost, if you get boost over the line, which during qualifying on every lap you will always have boost available to you, but when you're in the Grand Prix, it is pretty much almost like the DRS zones of old, where if you're 1 second to the car ahead, you'll get DRS, or in this case, boost mode, which gives you more electrical power to play with, but it does burn up very quickly. And also, instead of like multiple different DRS zones, there's one detection zone, then you get it for pretty much the entire lap. Straight mode is another thing as well, but there are specific zones for straight mode, but straight mode will always be available to you. So that'll be very interesting to see how it goes. And I personally like these new regulations. I still pretty bad at qualifying with them, just because it's if you're used to a certain driving style, if you're used to push 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 push, and then now this one you even have to lift and coast in quali, which I know some F1 drivers have definitely voiced their displeasure with lifting and coasting on a quali lap, but it's it is just a factor with these new regs. It's almost like Formula E.
And I know that there would be a certain F1 driver who would agree with you on that one. We've got all but one of our drivers setting a time in Q2. Now, Q2, you can get 2 laps quite comfortably down, but getting that third, it's a bit of a squeeze. So it's it'll be. I think most of the guys will set 2 laps, but we might not see Fat Cat come out again. Oh, I say that as my screen says he's currently on an outlap, so ignore what I'm saying. Zayden is coming up into that third and final sector with a lot of battery, or is going for a second outlap. Oh, no, just that battery management has been very impressive. Or is going for a second outlap. I can't quite tell.
No, I think
Burning
he's
that
just managing.
really well and jumps up into P2.
Yeah, one of the weird things about this energy management system that we have here with this regulation is there's some straight modes where it's pretty beneficial to not even bother with the ERS. Like, I know it's gonna sound really weird, but sometimes slow is fast. So it'll be interesting. Slow is fast in these cars on occasions in quality, because we saw there from Aiden's Raiden, he pretty much spent that final straight mode zone just pretty much building up that battery and then just unleashing everything on that start finish line, which is a much longer straight. And previously with some other drivers, we were watching them just burn all their battery, and they would only have about 20%, and then you're halfway through straight, and then your battery's just gone. And then that kind of leads to although it's not as noticeable in game as it was in the early iterations of this regulation cycle, but that's where that super clipping comes into play, where you start just about like losing speed on a straight, which a lot of drivers have also kind of said is not ideal. So, if it's your first time here in the Rush Racing League chat, welcome. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic night tonight. It is preseason here, so just a little reminder on how things are going tonight. Full quality here tonight, followed by a 50% race, so 29 laps around the Sakir International Circuit. It is myself, Patrick Coleman, aka Ruckus, alongside Phoenix. We are your hosts and commentators for tonight's action, as Koopa Troopa does jump up the order to P5. And if you are outside of the top 10 in this session, then you will be eliminated at the second hurdle of qualifying. And then it is down to our top 10 shootout here for pole position. And we do have a full lobby of drivers here tonight. So we did lose 6 drivers previously from P17 down to P22. This time we'll lose P11 to P16. Some drivers do need a really strong outlap to get a really good banker lap, or sorry, a really good lap in general, because we're approaching, and I know we didn't say it last time around, but we are approaching rush hour here in Q2, the final mad dash of just crazy racing here and crazy qualifying, and we know that it is all to play for here in the final moments of Q2.
Yeah, I mean, how dare we forget rush time? Oh, how dare. I mean, we've currently got 5 drivers. Slushy really on the verge. If Slushy can improve, we'll jump up a fair bit, because there is one, two, three, 4 drivers currently in the 29 threes alone. The gap between 9 and 8 is slightly bigger, but these are of course all just banker laps, because it's good to get a lap and not try to be a 1 lap merchant, because I mean, we saw it a few times yesterday where they'll just go out for 1 lap, and I think it was Aiden's rating went up into like P3 or something on 1 lap in Q3. But it's a lot nicer having that time set there, just in case you have an unfortunate run of invalidating, spinning, slipping, etc.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I mean that's the beauty of it. And also, I still remember from about 2 seasons ago, I think it was at the beginning of season 8. I want to say we were doing a season opener at Monza, where there was a driver who topped Q1 by like at least like 2 or 3 tenths. I forget what his name was at this point. It began with a Z. It's nobody who's currently racing here. I don't think. I don't think they haven't raced. I think since that season. But he topped the times in Q1 by a couple of tenths, and then was immediately eliminated in Q2. like P15. So anything can happen here in this series, and we have seen it time and time again. We know that this is going to be a crazy one, as I think we're going to see quite a few drivers eliminated here at the second hurdle. So I think Hogo Pogo, who I believe is one of the newest drivers in Rush, at least as far as I know. And then Ryan Adair, the Ferrari team principal, going to go to give it a go. He needs a good lap here. So he needs a very good lap to try to make magic happen here. I mean, if Lewis Hamilton can get a win in a Ferrari, then Ryan Adair can get out of Q2. And we're going to see if he can go ahead and use the power of the Tifosi to go ahead and get him going here. SJ, Champs of London, currently on an outlap at the moment. And we'll see what he can do. But we're going to stay on board with the Ferrari as he is fighting his way through Sector 2. Koopa Troopa has called into the pits. I think the drivers who are really right on the bubble are going to be your... Pretty much anybody from P9 down is going to be pretty much right on the bubble. Oh, that's a big snap there from Ryan Adair, getting a good amount of power delivery out of turn number 10. And he's going to go ahead and just turn on the afterburners and just give it a go going through as he just runs it everything to the line. And he is going to continue on through Sector 2. Oh, he's not improving, though. I think that big snap might have cost him. And, yeah, that's Ryan Adair. And he's invalidated as well, so that's going to be a shock elimination from Q2. Who else is on the flyer? Daniel Rocks will be the next one who will want to improve. He's currently right on the drop zone. Champs of London will not be able to make it, so the boss man is out. Hogo Pogo is out. Ryan Adair is out, so Slushy, Daniel Rocks, and Noah Huni, the only ones that can improve, and Daniel improves. He'll rock his way up into P7. RJ now on the bubble, and we're going to just see who can go and improve. Noah Huni, Division 5 driver, a real standout, and now the new Alpine team principal. Is he going to be able to find that extra bit of gumption to go ahead and get out of the drop zone? RJ will not. He'll come into the pit. So Slushy might have a chance to demote the Williams TP out. He might drop him down into Q2. Coming to the line. He will improve to 11th, but that is it. He will get so close, yet so far away. And then Noah Huni, the last driver who could improve. Can he knock Dito, the Williams team principal, to the drop zone? This is going to be TP versus TP. Noah Huni assuming the role of the reigning overall champions here in Rush. And he improves his time, but not his position. So Noah Huni falls at the second hurdle of qualifying. And then there were 10.
Yeah, finally I can get a word in. Never mind. It was a. I didn't expect Ryan. I mean, he had a bad string of luck last night. Not his night at all. Unfortunately, had that snap causing him to, of course, lose it. Because if he was to push it to get back in time, he would have had no battery to start the next lap, and therefore he would have struggled to improve. But I mean, Fat Cat's just blasting away, setting a very fast time. But we've got to see where everyone. Daniel Rock's getting P7. I think he got that in Q1 as well. But it's going to be a very interesting and I think very close for the first few positions.
Yeah, exactly that. So it's going to be a very tight battle up at the front. We knew Fat Cat was going to be strong coming into this. Him and Aiden Raiden are two really strong contenders. But in this session, we have lost Slushy, RJ, Noah Huni, SJ, Hogo Pogo, and Ryan Adair will be your 6 drivers eliminated in the session. And then there were 10. 10 drivers left in the session. And I think it's going to be a blast of a session. So, I mean, obviously, it is pretty clear, at least for now, that Aiden is Raiden and Fat Cat are going to be. They're going to be the top dogs here so far. Fat Cat, runner up in the Division One championship last season, losing it all due to a track limit penalty right at the end on the final lap of the British Grand Prix season finale. And that is a very unfortunate way to lose the title. Even the champion Meowsy was not too keen on winning the championship in that fashion. So we're just gonna see how the rest of this qualifying session plays out. So there are no points on offer for this, but you are trying to impress the TPs, trying to find a spot on any of the rosters for Rush across however many divisions there be. Heard there's talks of 5, heard there's talks of 4. So we'll see how many divisions there ultimately ends up being. But regardless of how many divisions, you need to have a seat to race. And then with that being said and done, you want to make your marks here. I mean, there's also the trials that we did over the span of the last week. I know Red Bull is still going to do their trial race a bit later. Not later on today. Obviously, I think it's later on this week, I want to say. But any predictions from you, Phoenix?
I mean, I think I may have used up, I want to say, all my cursing last night because although I did say lap one turn one we're gonna either have an M plate or nothing. I mean, we had an M plate go flying. That is kind of normal for corners like that because there are some tracks with absolutely treacherous corner one, lap one. But we had a ferry. I think we got through sector one, and then I know shenanigans happened. No one DNF, but the game decided to spit out a safety car as everyone is peeling out of the pits very, very quickly because you want to try and squeeze 2 laps in, which can be tight. If you invalidate, you're really only down to 1 lap.
Yeah, you're always gonna be in a tricky spot when it comes to qualifying, at least in this final stage of qualifying. It's gonna get worse when we get to sprint qualifying, because sprint qualifying is much quicker than the regular qualifying, so you have a lot less time to really do stuff. You're also, for the first 2 sessions, you're stuck on a set of mediums, as you are unable to actually use a set of softs for sprint quality, although we don't have to worry about that for at least a little bit. Our first sprint isn't for some time, and even though we have another week of preseason coming through, so it'll be a fun season. Looking forward to seeing all the action. A lot more 100% races, a lot more sprints. We are doubling the amount of sprints and 100%ers across the board. So the first sprint is round 3 in Coda at the Circuit of the Americas. So that is going to be a fun one. We did not visit that track last season, and actually, funny enough, 2 out of the first 3 racetracks that we will be visiting for this season, we did not actually visit last season. So we kicked things off in Abu Dhabi, which we did visit about midway through the season. And then we go to Interlagos for the first 100% Grand Prix of the season. And then we go straight to Coda for the first sprint of the season. So we do have quite a lot of racing action coming up for you here this season. 18 rounds, 6 sprints, 600% races, and a relay race right in the middle. And honestly, Phoenix, I'm probably the most curious and the most excited for that relay race.
Yeah, because yeah, you because it all comes down to the it comes down to Div 1 qualifying. And let's see Merc 1-2 picking a team. Merc 1-2. If one of them DNFs, well, whoever's that seat for Div 2 starts from P22. So it's going to be, I feel like, a lot of, not quite stress, but a lot of pressure for those teams within the top 10 or top five
Oh, there
because like
is.
you're holding your position.
I was gonna mention. I think there was an Audi spinning around,
Yes.
and then yeah, just an unfortunate little spin there for Aines Raiden. Back to you.
I kind of lost my train of thought as Liam Liam Derenberg is the only one not to set a banker lap here in Q3, and I mean we've already seen Fat Cat Batman set a stunner of a lap, very quick, with Zach's user just over a second behind. Well, I can look at them. Yeah, just under a second. I did my maths the wrong direction.
Reminds me of the time I was giving a math instruction during one of the karting commentaries that I did over the weekend, and that was a fun experience. Um, I forget what was in the context of the math lesson with Patrick, but anyways, I know school's out for a good chunk of you, at least here on my side of the hemisphere in the good old US of A. Summer is well and truly in session. School's out, so the summer is here. So I'm sure you guys probably don't want to hear a whole lot about math. Although if you're still in college
We're
or
in school.
uni, then well, GG's I guess. But especially if you go to one of those colleges that don't believe in summer breaks or like a very limited summer break like mine. We got a week of summer break and then we pretty much just got straight back
A
into it.
week.
A week, yes.
My mid semester breaks 2 weeks. That's yet another one of the differences between different continents and places. Well, here down under in OCE and Southern Hemisphere, winter is in full swing. So instead of blazing hot summer days, you've got freezing cold winter days. As we're almost halfway through Q3, I was gonna say Q1, but everyone's sort of coming back into the pits. Those tires will be interesting to know if any of the drivers set their bankers on a used set of softs.
Yeah, it will be interesting indeed. And also, to give credit to my college, it is an accelerated program. So I think for a lot of colleges, actually, I think summer break is like three weeks. I think. Actually, I think some colleges, even some of the more like public universities, I think they even take like the entire summer season. So they take a couple of months off. So my college didn't do that. We didn't even have traditional semesters. It was pretty much a fast-paced, fast-paced college. That's how I got my master's degree, which is the second highest degree, I think, at least in the American system. It's right behind a doctorate. That's how I got that by age 21. And a couple years now, I'm 23, and I still have a master's degree, which some people would just be now getting their bachelor's at this point in a more traditional college. We do have a handful of minutes left to go, and rush hour is about to get back underway as we get ready for the final few minutes of quali. Everybody's going to be peeling into the pits to go ahead and try to set their ultimate lap to get the best starting position on the grid that they can. Now, comparatively to some tracks, Bahrain is probably one of the easiest tracks to get some overtakes done on, especially with this regulation of cars. It is a very wide track, and you do have a good amount of straights. So do expect a lot of yo-yo racing, a lot of pass and repass, especially in the early stages as drivers really try to jockey for their positions. Fat Cat currently on the lap right now, making his way into turn 11 as he gets ready to go through turns number 12. And then he's going to come through. Let's see if he's improving. Marginally, but it is a Fat Cat improvement. So you know that if he's improving, then it's going to set a very, very high bar for everybody else to even try to get within a second of. So Fat Cat coming through, running a bit wide through the final sector, or through the final corner. To the line, he does improve by 61 milliseconds, and he is just a second ahead of Zach's user in the Cadillac.
Yeah, we've now got most of the drivers. I say most, it's just under half. You should see the next few come out within the next really 20 seconds because you want to leave time to go slow and get your battery before you floor it around the final corner to start your lap. But we've got McLaren of Sleepy Gamer coming down into sector, going on a second outlap. Never mind. So we've got everyone on an outlap. Now we've got everyone on an outlap except for Fat Cat, who would be on an inlap. So, gotta wait till one of them decides to cross the line.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So it's going to be a good run from these guys, and they're going to get ready to rock and roll and get ready to go as they're going to go ahead and get ready for their final laps here of qualifying here in the preseason race. This is preseason race number 3. And then we go to, I think we have a few more preseason races later on throughout the week, and then we have the Silverstone for the next batch of preseason races. As we do go through Sleepy Gamer going a bit deep into turn 1. And this is going to be a good, good, good powerhouse. Just down that massive straight through the first straight mode if you don't count the start finish line. Fat Guy is retired, although I think that's a pretty safe provisional pole from the Batman himself. As we do see Sleepy Gamer will go ahead and come through. A lot of drivers will be finishing up their outlaps, and we'll stand aboard with Sleepy Gamer as he continues to make his way through this lap. He's going to open up that straight mode. The front and rear wings will go ahead and maneuver in position as he comes down here. And then he will go ahead and hug through turn number 11. And then into turn 12. Coming to the end of sector 2. He's improving by almost half a second, so I think this whole order might switch up quite a bit. That might be the benefit of having those new soft tires available to the drivers as they come to the 2 final corners on the racing track. And it is going to be Sleepy Gamer now coming through the final corner, burning everything to the line. And where is he going to go? P5 as it sits for the papaya car.
Yeah, because we've now got the rest of the field coming over. Liam Derenberg doesn't improve, did invalidate. The next of the 2 Williams to cross the line will be Katusha. I don't know if Katusha's improving, but we will see. Goes across the line, does improve and goes up to P2. Can Tito improve his position? No, he can't. Then we've got the Ferrari of Cooper Trooper, who does have quite a lot of battery coming down into that main straight. Does improve up to P4, so we are seeing quite a change as Hayden has Raiden has taken some very interesting lines. Missing that end plate.
Sorry, I was just noting Daniel Rock's up to P3, and Angus Raiden has invalidated, so that is our qualifying order set. Fat Cat on pole position by 0.7 of a second. Oh boy, Fat Cat domination might just be here, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy stuff here at the end. And I mean, very good lap times from a lot of drivers. And we're going to run through our final top 10 results here. It is going to be Fat Cat 0.7 of a second ahead of anybody else. And we've almost come to expect nothing less there from Fat Cat. So then it's going to be Katusha, Daniel Rocks, Zach's User, Koopa Troopa, Liam Durenberg, Sleepy Gamer, Dito, Aiden Raiden, and Huddy the Goat. Rounding out your top 10. What a qualifying session that was, Phoenix, but that is just the beginning. Qualifying is one thing, and the 29 lap Grand Prix ahead of us is a completely different ballgame.
Yeah, but I do like how it's a spoiler, it's going to be a night Grand Prix, night qualifying, night race. I mean, I have a feeling it might be dry just due to the location we are. Kind of in the Middle East here, and that sky is as clear as night. I can't say it's clear as day, it's night time. But I'm going to do this because I've got to it first. Do you have any bold predictions for the race?
Ooh, bold predictions. I think that as a bold prediction, I think just because of the density of cars going into this turn one, it's a very sharp turn one. I think we will have a VSC coming out of turn one. That's just gonna be my prediction. I hope it's one
Ooh.
of the few predictions I hope I'm actually wrong about because I want to see pretty much green flag racing from here on out. But I do think that we're probably gonna end up seeing a VSC at some point. Probably something a bit in kind of in the middle. Actually, I think the front runners. I think probably at least the top five are probably going to get away scot free. But I think in that mid pack, it's going to be a bit of a dangerous one. But here we go. It is 5 red lights coming up on the gantry. And it is right out and away we go. Here in Bahrain. And it's a good launch there from Fat Cat. The Cadillac though making some moves. Zach User going up into P3. We'll go for the inside line. And looks like my prediction was indeed wrong. We did make it through turn one without a VSC, and that is going to be absolutely amazing. And the game had update. Oh,
No,
not a.
SJ, not SJ. I am inviting you. Hold up. I forgot. I remember. Okay, I remember the two drivers that have disconnected. But you take it away while I do invite stuff.
Yeah, of course, I got you. I mean, I'm a commentator, so I basically get paid to yap. But it is going to be a very good, very good battle here. As we see, we still have all 22 cars, and I think we still have all 44 sets of end plates. So we're gonna see here as Ghost for Life does bring up the back of the field. RJ gets the move done on the Super Gamer, but the McLaren and the Haas car going side by side. And it's going to be up the inside. They're still battling out through turn 12 and 13. And it is going to be a Haas leading that battle. It is Raiden and Liam de Rienberg scrapping it out here. And Katusha is also involved. We have a three-way fight for that P3 position. Katusha is having a bit of a moment on the connectivity front. As Zax will drop down a little bit down the order, but he's going to try to stick it. The Cadillac goes, oh, he just gets sandwiched by Katusha. Katusha having every connectivity issue in the book, it feels like. And so far, it's been a mostly clean lap one. Lap two having a little bit of a scrap. But Liam Doreenberg trying to fight here for these positions. And oh, he's getting really punchy now with the Ferrari of Koopa Troopa. And that's the thing about these cars. They are narrower, they are shorter.
Okay.
And that is
Oh,
crazy
we
to see.
you read what SJ has put in chat because. Mm-hmm.
If the guys want to restart, or one shot, um,
Oh, go again, all good. We can do a custom grid or one shot. Up to you.
I would rather do a one shot. Honestly, I think that'd be a fun one to see. But I mean, you know me,
That would be really
I love my
funny.
one shots. I love the bit of chaos that we can create with a bit of a one shot. But
We could we could see it Fat Cat P22.
we could see a Fat Cat P22, and then we could just see him absolutely just dice his way through the order. We're gonna see here. Dana Rocks is having actually a really good race, I will say. I know Dana Rocks doesn't have the cleanest of resumes, but right now he's putting in a heck of a performance.
Yeah, I
So we
mean,
go for it.
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if we do continue because I don't know quite how many people have that game update, but I will guess. Wait and be told what is happening. There's a commentator that it's kind of you kind of sometimes have to wait and see what happens because I know there isn't normally a preseason in quali. A red flag in preseason. I got my English completely mixed up there, but and I've lost my train of thought. And no, there's not normally a red flag, but this isn't anyone's fault. This is EA being EA again. I mean, we saw it for Div 5, it got pushed back a week because the EA servers decided to go down.
Yeah, it's what the EA servers did their routine maintenance during the season finale of Div 5, like Phoenix was saying, so it did have to get pushed back as Aiden is trying to push his way up into the podium spots for Audi. And he is going to go ahead and hold on. Okay, so I think we are, as of this moment, we are
Oh, it's up to
continuing.
you.
We're going to, I
It's up
mean,
to you.
it is up to me. How many people have we lost here in the session? Because if
At
we've
least
only
three.
lost that, if yeah, okay. So I'm thinking if we lost only like 3 people, I think we should probably continue as is. That's just me.
And then we just hope no one else gets kicked out.
If there's a lot more people, then
And
yeah,
then,
I say we do a red flag with a slightly shorter race, depending on how
oh,
much race distance has elapsed. Um,
whoa. I've just looked at it and there's a massive split between. I must have missed something. I mean, the groups are now way split up. Could have been damaged that when I wasn't really. The game had an update, so it's mine. You're making the decision. I'm gonna. There's a nice battle between Goats for. I was about to say Goats for Life and Champs of London, and then I remembered the Aston is in AI.
I think actually both of them are in AI, funny enough, but yeah.
Oh,
Battle the AI though, that could be a fun one to witness. So yeah, I think they're both in AI. I think yeah, just based on the driving and how they're not trying to murder each other, I think they're definitely both AI. And I think here's the problem with this whole decision that I have been tasked to make. It seemingly has only affected a handful of drivers. It hasn't affected everybody. I mean, we still have a majority of the players in the lobby. So that's why I'm more leaning towards we stick with this current session. Is because we lost I think 3 in total. Like I think 3 or 4 in total. So I think we're just gonna stick with it unless we. The only reason I say we call red flag is that is if we just lose everybody. But since we've only lost a handful of drivers, I think we're just going to go ahead and stick with it as is. We will keep you guys updated on anything going on. There may be a makeup preseason race for it. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But the pole time was a 127.8, I want to say. I think. I
silly
could be
fast.
wrong. It was a
Silly
one.
fast.
Yeah, it was a 127. I know that much. I just don't remember the exact time. But it was 7 tenths quicker than anyone else. And it's set by the man who's still currently in P1. As Noah Huni does get past Hogo Pogo for position. And we're going to pull up the tires everybody's on. Most of the field on the mediums, but you have a few stragglers on the softs. And Sleepy started on the hards.
So we do. Not quite sure what is up with that. I was about to say Aston Martin. It's certainly shaking like the AMR 26, but no, that is an Alpine, soon to be called Gucci. That's still gonna crew to Karma has now left. We will see if that's a game update or not. I will wait for confirmation from that, but trying to turn our attention back to the race, we got ever so slightly sidetracked, as one does. I mean, the field's very, very spread out at this point in time.
It is, but we still do have some battles here. It is Aiden is raining. Oh, somebody went deep. Fat Cat has went deep. So Fat Cat's made a mistake. He has went deep into turn 8, I want to say that was. He went deep into 8. And then now he is down into 4th, maybe even 5th. Yeah, so he's down in the fourth right now. So that is a very unusual mistake here. As Katusha now is watching the battle for the lead. Dana Rocks leads the Grand Prix ahead of Aina's Raiden and Katusha. But look at this. Aina's Raiden trying to send one up the inside. The Red Bull holding that defensive line, boxing him in. So that is, and yeah, so we can confirm that Credit Karma did get disconnected for the game update. So, but Aiden's Raiden into the lead for Audi. They've dominated in Rally, they've dominated at Le Mans, and now Audi in the lead here in the Formula One Grand Prix. I know it's not the official F1 Grand Prix, but hey, we can dream here. As we see Aiden getting extremely defensive against Daniel Rocks, trying to hug that inside line, hugging the esports line, using a bit of that painted runoff area on the inside near the pit wall. And then it is going to be tricky because you do have Daniel Rocks who does have that boost mode engaged. So he's going to try to send it up the inside. A very clean overtake. Is it going to stick though? They're going to go side by side. And it does indeed stick. What a move there from Daniel to retake that lead position. But Aiden's Raiden still going to be hot on his heels. But here's the thing, and we already see Aiden already trying to make a move up the inside this time. He thinks about it, he positions the car, but he backs out of it. Turn 10 is not a spot that you typically want to make a move at. As Ryan Adair has gotten a penalty for some reason. I don't know what reason that is, but he did get a penalty.
I mean, just looking at the Simply Lovely race director would be track limits. There's quite a few track limits, just over one full screen's worth of said track limits. Fortunately, Ryan got one on lap 3 and then got twice on lap 7. I mean, the drivers, it's Fat Cat is trying to pick his way up through the field. I saw that happen out of the corner of my eye. But trying to look through the field, there's not all too much going on. I mean, the top 3 are very close. Fat Cat zooming on by that Aston Martin. Bit of a brake lock up from someone there going into turn 1. Daniel Rocks and Aiden is rating switching positions, but they've also got Katusha with him, and then a little bit of a gap for Zach's user, and then Fat Cat is... multiple people switch positions there. I know you like to say this, but they're trading positions like Pokemon cards at the top.
Oh, and that was almost a bit of contact there between Aiden's Raiden, but look at this. You do have the Williams of Katusha trying to split them like the Red Sea. Trying to do his best Mark Wilde impression of parting two cars. And luckily, he doesn't actually pull a Mark Wilde and take both of them out of the race at the same time. But Daniel Rocks has rocked his way up into the lead. But Aiden's Raiden, he is going to be right there in the Audi. He is constantly in his rearview mirror saying, howdy, I'm right here. You're not going anywhere fast. Trying to rope him in. Trying to bring him closer so he can go for the overtake. He needs to crucially stay within that second, but I think he's in a bit of a double trouble situation because he does have Katusha right there behind him. And just behind them is Fat Cat. Zach's user's also kind of in that mix. Katusha does get the pass done on to Aiden is Raiden. But look at this, Fat Cat also making his presence known. And it's going to be a drag race here. Multiple drag races. And Katusha does take the lead of the Grand Prix. And he will get ahead of Daniel. But Daniel's up the inside. He sends a mighty lunge. And there is contact. Katusha's probably a bit less than thrilled about that one. There was definitely contact between the Red Bull and the Williams. And then Fat Cat that was just lurking like Jaws. Or to put it more of a cat terminology, he is lurking like Garfield hunting that lasagna. But so far, he'll remain in P3 as we have lost another one due to the update.
That is 6 at this point, I think. That is getting a significant portion of the field. I will see if that is game or just crash.
It could be either or at this stage. So I think we're going to try to hold out and continue racing for as long as we can. But I think if we lose about 10 or more, then I think it's probably time to hit a shorter race. I mean, we would be at it. Sorry?
It is an update.
Yep. I figured as much. So I think we would be at a stage to. I think we would honestly be at a stage to. Oh, look at this gaggle of cars here.
Oh,
Whew.
oh my! They're all still on the track and have their um end plates still attached to their cars. For a minute, I thought I don't know what was gonna happen there. I swear my brain pitched him going 4 wide around that final corner.
Yeah, that was a very interesting one here. Um, yeah, it's been an interesting one. I'm still. Yeah, so there's definitely an update. I think we would be at a time to. Yeah, that's a tricky one because I think at this stage it definitely would warrant a shorter Grand Prix, I would say. Um, so I yeah, it's tough. I haven't gotten hit with the update yet, and you haven't gotten hit with the update yet. Daniel Roxas and Aiden is
But
raiding with a move though, as they will continue to
I,
fight for these positions. But
um,
yeah, this is
but
gonna
I
be
think someone
weird.
on an Xbox had the update. I know SJ's on a PlayStation. AXT, I think, is on Steam, so it could just be just hitting people's accounts at random times. But yeah, there's just so much. We run the risk of some of the games not updating, therefore unable to get back into the lobby as well.
Yeah, I think it's an issue that doesn't exactly have a clear answer. It's not exactly. I mean, it's not exactly just black and white at this point. It's definitely a gray area like that Audi silver, cause the update's gonna hit. Cause I
Oh,
mean, hmm, have
simply
you?
lovely.
Did you just get hit with the update?
I don't know, my PlayStation just, you know, had its moment. It wasn't EA, it was my PlayStation. I will see if it's an update or not. I mean, the battle for Fat Cat back up into P1, him being in P4 did not last very long whatsoever. And we'll see if my game doesn't update. It's currently, relaunching itself.
And then I'll try to invite you, and then we'll see what happens
Oh,
from there. I mean, it does happen. That's the tricky thing with League Racing, right? Is that you're going to run updates at unfortunate times. So,
oh no, 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 no.
yeah, I'm going to be. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Come
still
on.
currently in favor of holding on to this race, but I mean, if we start just losing a ludicrous amount of people, then obviously I think we both know the call that needs to be made here. So, yeah, hopefully we don't lose any more. And I actually know that
Oh, for
the
God. I've just got it. I've got the
Winter
update.
also just got it as well as Katuja gets up in the P3 now. So,
So
yeah,
I
I'm.
think if your device restarts
Oh,
the
there's a
update happens.
contact, big contact there. Daniel Rocks just absolutely punts Katusha. At least from the angle I saw. I mean, there's obviously gonna be different angles, but I think Liam Durenberg also got kind of domino affected there. So I think that was a bit of an aggressive lunge there from Daniel, and it did result in Katusha getting spun. I mean, if this was a league race, then that would be a penalty, and that's Fat Cat done it again. I think Fat Cat has outbraked himself yet again. So, yeah, that
Well,
is
and I think we're
unfortunate.
at like 10 plus people at this point. That's almost half the grid on AI. So it's up to you.
Alright, you know what? I mean,
The, it takes a minute to update. Basically, I think to cheat the update, restart your device and it picks it up if it hasn't forced you to die. But it's up to you.
well, if I restart my device, we lose the entire stream. So, I'm going to definitely avoid that option. Yeah, it's kind of a tough situation. We would have to definitely do a shortened race at this stage because we're already roughly halfway through this. We're
At
already about halfway through.
25%.
Yeah, it would be a 25%er. Some people are coming into the pits. Actually, everybody's coming into the pits now. So yeah, I think we're a bit late at this point to try a lobby restart. As drivers are making their yeah. If it is more, then I think we pretty much have almost no choice. Like I will say, if we lose like another one or two drivers, I think we pretty much just about have no choice. Welp. Yeah, I think we don't really have too much of a choice. I think we are gonna have
No
to
choice.
try to. Yeah,
Redo the session.
yeah. So
We are just under halfway, so the
it's a tough
25%
one
is still
though.
valid.
It's yeah, it's past
Although
50%. So um,
we're less than 50% of the way through, and we've lost 50% of said drivers.
yeah. So I think a lobby restart would be the call. Um, Honestly, I think I think I'm still gonna give SJ because I know SJ was actually one of the first drivers we lost due to the update. So I think we probably should let him have a say in like what we should do. I know the authority was given to me, but I don't trust that said authority that was given to me. So all right, I think we are expecting to have Crutter come up and join us in the comms box.
So,
So Crutter, come on in,
yep.
and we'll go ahead and give you a chat. And yep, you've been selected for the surprise interview, so you can jump on in and we'll give you a quick chat. So Crutter, welcome in. I know you just got thrown in for the surprise interview. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How's you?
I can't
I'm
complain
good.
myself. So, how are you getting along with these current regulation of cars?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's definitely learning. The battery deficit's a little bit different, but I don't know. It's one of those things everyone has to deal with, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna do a quick little thing real quick here on the back end. Alright, we should be Gucci. But anyways, yeah, so what do you think of the preseason race so far? And are there any teams that you are hoping to get a drive with?
Um, I think the pre-season races have been fun. I think yesterday was a little bit different. There's a fair few incidents, but I mean, I got bumped up the lobby, so it wasn't too bad. Any teams? Not really. I'll take whatever team that's going to pick me, I suppose. Um, yeah, I don't really have a designated team I really want to race for. They're all pretty good, so I'm not bothered.
Is there any track that you really like with these cars? Because I know some tracks that really worked well with the previous gen of cars don't exactly work super well with this generation of cars. So, any thoughts there?
Bahrain feels really smooth. I really like the track here. I haven't really done too much practice anywhere else unless for a league race. Silverstone's a little bit hard with the battery. It's a little bit not even the point. But yeah, Bahrain's fun. It's good to put a lap together at Bahrain in these new cars.
Yeah, so, and oh, Fat Cat has actually pulled off. So, Fat Cat has once again outbraked himself third time in a row. And oh, he's having wheel issues. That explains it. So, we might see a retirement here in Fat Cat. But any final words before I pass you over to Phoenix for this impromptu interview?
No, I just want to thank Derp for throwing me in. um, yeah, obviously you got kicked out for the update, but it's one of those things. It's kind of past the point where you pull the plug and redo it. So it is what it is. What it is.
No worries.
All right.
Sounds
Well,
Phoenix having a lovely time trying to sort her own update out.
all right. Well, I'll pass you over to Phoenix if they have anything else for you. But otherwise, thanks for popping in.
I don't have anything else to say. I mean, except for the fact the game didn't crash, but my PlayStation decided to kick the bucket, and then when I tried to turn everything back on, then I got the simply lovely update.
Yeah, it sounds like you're having dramas on your end as well. Um, Yeah, I guess it's one of those things.
Yeah,
Lucky
and
it's only pre-season
actually,
though. So.
this is actually going to be kind of risky, but I am actually going to go ahead and I'm going to do something else here on the back end real quick as a quick temporary solution. Um, it is going to show a bit of a pause screen here, but let's do this. Hopefully, if this lags the stream too much, let me know. So that way Phoenix can still watch and commentate,
Oh.
even though even though that they are unable to rejoin the lobby. Yeah, Fat Cat is retired, so that is the pole sitter out of this race, and it is due to wheel issues. So, just like Charles Leclerc in Barcelona, he had some issues with the steering, and he had to call tonight.
Yes, I know that there'll be someone. Both of us know which will get, let's say, a little debrief on how this race is going. But I mean, I'm trying to see. Aiden is rating a sort of runaway. It's unfortunate we did lose Fat Cat. He showed incredible pace, but wheel issues. The tech issues have literally plagued half the field at this point. Cooper Trooper has now left. My bet is that's also to a game update. At this point, I really don't know how many drivers are really left in here, but the drivers seem to be spread out and settling down.
Probably because a good portion of them are AI. So, if we do get, if we do get a call to redo a race or to restart the race, we're gonna see. Um, So yeah, it's preseason, so no red flags. So I don't think we're gonna get a restart. Um,
Yeah.
at this point, it's pretty late though. That's the interesting thing is like, it would be a 25% raise, no doubt. Or yeah, it would be a 25% raise at this stage. So it's unfortunate, I will say. Like it's a real bummer. Hopefully, but with that in mind, I know tomorrow likely won't have that issue. So, I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised I haven't been booted yet, but with about 6 minutes to the, or sorry, about 4 minutes to
Oh,
the hour, and
that's
team,
another driver.
yeah, I
Uh,
would be moving in favor
we're
towards a
like,
restart at this stage, but
yes, we've just lost so many drivers.
but we do have three wide here. Daniel Rocks, Aiden is
Oh,
Raiden, and Katusha, three wide coming
almost
down.
four wide.
Oh yeah, it was about four wide, like you said. Yeah, coming into the final corner. So this is going to be a crazy drag race here down the start finish line. And then it's going to be a... Who's going to be in front? Is it going to be Daniel? Is it going to be Katusha? Is it going to be Aiden? Aiden tries to stick it out, but he will still have pretty much the net lead due to that penalty that Daniel Rocks has. Thinking of for track limits, and he'll slot back
Oh,
in, and Aiden's Raiden does lead the Grand Prix still. Trying to bring out a back to the top step of the, or to the top step of the podium in general. Their first foray in
okay.
the Formula One, and they are going for it.
Um, we it's preseason. In the words of SJ, no, it's fine. It's preseason. We will just run it tomorrow, and the drivers that got kicked will race tomorrow and have priority. So that's something. But as we can see with the don't ask me who, I'm going to talk about AI like they're humans because I don't know what's happening in this race anymore. But I'm pretty sure the top few are still all in the lobby. I mean, Aiden is rating and Daniel Rocks. It'll be interesting to see their battery usage. That is an interesting thing. To see what their battery will be like, because that makes everything in a battle. I mean, now the top four are sort of, they're the really close ones together as they're going three wide again into the final corner. They duck it to two wide only. Don't try and push it to four wide. I feel like going four wide is a silly Billy conditions to do here. As we've got a few of the drivers having penalties, and I'm not quite sure how old everyone's tyres are, but the top four are having a nice little battle.
So Kung Bus has retired from the session. We have lost one of the Mercs, and that's actually retirement on track. So that is, unless that's a crash, which, judging by his dot still moving on track, I don't believe it was a crash. So that one will be under investigation, I would say. I mean, it is preseason, so the official call from the boss man himself is that we will race as is, and the drivers who were affected by the very poorly timed update will get priority, as Slush will be another retirement here. It is good to see that, because I know it was like, what, 12 drivers finished yesterday, I think. It was a pretty low amount,
I
but
think 11. It was, yeah.
somewhere
It
around
was
that
under
ballpark.
half. I want to say. I want to say it was under half. I actually, I can go check.
Yeah,
I
I think it
will
was like
go
12 or
check.
something like that from what I heard from the briefing earlier today, but Liam DeReenberg's going to get 2 for the price of 1. He will jump up into the lead, and it'll be 10 laps to go. And the Aston Martin is fighting with the Audi. And then you got the Red Bull behind fighting with the Williams. And this is going to be a beautiful run here. And we can't forget about the Cadillac. Zax is right behind as well in that caddy. But look at this 3 wide going into turn 1. And Liam DeReenberg is going to hold on here. You see the tire ages on your screen at the moment. And they're going to go ahead and continue. Here are the penalties as it sits. Nobody has more than 3 seconds. And Ada's ready. We'll get the dive on it to Katusha. So Daniel Rocks, Huddy, Hogo Pogo, and Ryan Adair all with 3-second time penalties. There are no points on offer here for preseason. You're just trying to impress the TPs. And I mean, if you are, let's see if I can do my memory correctly. If you are Dito, if you are Sick Party, if you are Ryan Adair, and if you are Noah Huney and Liam, you don't need to worry about that because you're all TPs. Although it is funny seeing Sick Party being a TP and not even racing for the team he is a TP for. He is the Audi team principal, and he's an Alpine. Um, so it's funny to see that. See that the Audi TP is not even in an Audi. But Liam Dreenberg does lose his spot to Daniel Rocks, who does resume the lead of the Grand Prix. I think we've had, at some point, at least 4 different leaders here in this Grand Prix, and each of them from a different constructor. We've had a Red Bull, we've had a Haas, we've had an Aston Martin, and an Audi, all on top, and there is the AI of X, and he will go to get lapped here, as the AI does its best of trying to go ahead and get out of the way. Driver GPT doesn't always cooperate sometimes with us. And it is going to be Aiden as Raiden trying to regain those podium spots. He will be in contention for a podium because even if Daniel does win the race on track, he will lose out due to that 3-second time penalty for track limits. But so far, another dive attempt. Despite the fact we lost about half the grid, this has still been a pretty entertaining race, Phoenix. Lots of good racing.
Yeah, they've kept it clean, and I'm back from my investigation into last night, and you are correct. It was in fact 12 out of the 22 drivers we have lost, but the top really 6 being only somewhat close to each other. There's a yellow, I'm not quite sure why. I think, oh my,
Oh, that's a Cadillac face in the wrong direction. That's a very unsafe rejoin.
I was about to say, I hope you saw that, then me completely forgetting I see what you see. And I have now more than once picked up my controller to change which driver I was looking at on automation, but that is just something as a commentator that starts to just get drilled into you. And I saw something happen at the back. Someone had a little slide out into corner 1. Not quite sure who that ended up being.
I want to say it was Aiden. I think Aiden's ran had a bit of a moment in the Audi because Dito's moved up into 5th or into 4th, excuse me.
There's still a car there.
Oh, it's RJ.
The white cars.
Is he stuck? No, he's.
Oh,
Oh, he is parked in a very bad spot. He's right on the apex.
yeah, hiking it off the track.
Yeah, so he might be
No,
running
oh,
into.
RJ has
Oh, he's been
DNF.
disqualified because he parked in a dangerous location.
Oh,
Even though I'm not getting the
oh
notifications
my.
on my screen for penalties for some reason this race, but he has been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. I don't even need to look at the race director to know what that DSQ is because I have seen it a handful of times.
Yeah, and we saw his AI there. I noticed his AI there being being there for quite a while. I'm like, either that car's a DNF because I knew it was a white car, but a white car in this game could be one of the two houses or one of the two Cadillacs. But we have both the houses, so apparently it's the white dots are just our Cadillacs rocking the grid. But the top, just in that little moment, have sort of spread out a little bit with Liam having like a 1.6 second gap onto Daniel Rocks, but we've seen gaps fluctuate so easy with the ES and that battery management.
So I know, and I think we might have missed it on track, but I know why there was that gap that formed. I have been informed via our fantastic Twitch chat that Daniel and Katusha wheel hooked, and that's caused them to drop quite a few spots there in a moment, and that has also brought Dito into the fight. So Dito pretty much
Ooh.
looking like a double Williams podium as it sits, as long as they can stay within range of Daniel, because Daniel does have that 3 second pen for track limits, and he'll be out of boost range. Dito, and here's the thing, Dito and Katusha, I mean, I think if I were to make any driver market predictions, I think because Katusha was a really strong force last season, I think he'll probably get picked up by Williams. I'm pretty sure he was with Williams last season as well. So I think that's probably going to be a very strong re-signing. But we know how this goes. We know that there is a lot of changes that happen in between seasons. And actually, Phoenix, this is your first preseason here, Rush. So you'll get to see probably one of the trickiest things for
No.
you that you'll get to experience is you've seen like last season, say like TMT Legend, who does get past Ryan Adair. I know that is driver GPT versus driver GPT going at it, but you will see drivers who you've spent so long seeing them with one team, and then they'll just suddenly be on a different team, and you're like, what? Like I still remember the days when XD Lamb or Ryan Adair. I remember back in the days when he
Yeah,
was
but
racing with
it's
Williams.
not. It's my first season of preseason, but not.
Like a sick party is out, he just pulled it into the pit. So
Ah,
um, and it's interesting
ah,
because
but the
good.
I forgot my train of thought. No, this is my first season doing preseason, but not the first preseason race I have been a part of because I did it last night because the streamer's phone decided to mute his alarm. Anyway, going back to the action, we're now on lap
Okay, yeah. Ouch.
24 out of
All right, Visa
29,
Cash Out Racing
and
Phoenix.
I will momentarily. Oh, don't make me pull out the full. No, oh, okay, I won't do that to you. But I am going to very quickly change headsets because my headset is basically almost flat. So I will be back. You've got to deal with Patrick for a little bit.
Yeah, no. Okay, so Phoenix over here throwing me under the bus for something I had zero part in. The fact that my phone did some random update and decided to mute my alarms. So, yeah. Okay, we're gonna have a discussion after this. I'm kidding. All jokes aside, it happens when you're commentating for a division that's well outside of your time zone. Sometimes alarms do not cooperate, and you gotta make adjustments. Like these drivers are having to make adjustments for the race itself, as both of the Williams have already caught the back of Daniel. And I will say, I do kind of miss having my notifications pop up whenever there's a penalty against Katusha. has gotten a penalty for track limit violation. So Daniel Rock still looking at a podium finish, but it'll be a P3 here, but still be, I think, a just about a career best for Daniel. And although it still will not be the win because Liam Durienberg has done something that nobody has ever been able to do with Aston Martin and actually get some good performance out of it. And I know I have just been slightly name dropped in chat, which is generational.
I wonder who did that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
gee, I wonder who.
P3 seems to be the only real battle on the field, as they're on lap now 26 out of 29. And don't worry, it's all
Oh, there's an Audi parked up.
Ooh,
That's
Aiden.
Aiden, yeah. So he's made a mistake, and he is trying to get all that traction in the Audi. I know Audi dominated the rally stages in Group B, but this Audi particularly doesn't like gravel. I mean, look at the Barcelona Grand Prix where a piece of gravel actually nuked the Audi of Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I mean, that Grand Prix was definitely something I know last night. I was giving little updates in qualifying and throughout the race when I got information on the Grand Prix. A little Aiden's rating just smacked it into a wall coming into corner 9. Not quite sure what happened there, but he is now definitely out. I think he can comfortably keep it within the white lines. I mean, he can even get a penalty or two and still just chill out in P5. But I think as we wind down and we get lesser and lesser distance, we will see P2 and P3 being fought for quite aggressively, but hopefully clean aggressively, that is.
Yeah, exactly right, Phoenix. As there are currently 3 laps to go here in the Grand Prix. And Katusha trying to get it at Daniel, which will drop Daniel out of podium contention. He needs to stay ahead of Katusha to not drop the penalty. Aiden's Reigns in the pits. I think this might be a retirement. Or is he going to go for the fastest lap attempt? We will see. No, it's going to be a pit stop. So fresh tires going on. A fresh set us off. So he's going to... Oh, he got a new front wing too.
Oh.
So...
That might help if you're trying to go for a fastest lap attempt there. As there is quite a massive gap, about 32.2 second gap from P.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's on Daniel. 100%. Yeah, he just basically shunted Katusha into that wall there. Katusha now colliding with Dito. Oh, what is happening here? This is
kept it so clean.
That's a bit too aggressive from my perspective. I think that's a little aggressive. If this was a in-season race, that would be that's an in-play and a trip to the stewards room.
Daniel's, I reckon, out for podium contention. I'm not sure if Dito has any damage. Dito does have damage. I'm not quite sure now if Katusha has damage. I can't use my magical co-comms powers to go do my little bit of investigative journalism, but I'm pretty sure Katusha does have both end plates, so I think Katusha's pretty set in stone for P2, as we already see Katusha but pulling a gap onto Daniel, who is going so due to that damage, and it's at the point in the race where we're on the penultimate lap, as you like to call it, that you just can't pit. You just have to suck it up as they're following each other. Very nice. Coming into that second sector, just keeping it nice and tight. Around here is where we saw it get a bit aggressive last time. There's also at the stage of the race where if you want to make a move, you have to try to go up the inside of contact, slide a bit of a whack and a smack. And it's Daniel Rocks that does come out on top with Katusha in P3, and I think that was the wrong Williams. For some reason I thought it was Dito and Daniel Rocks having at it, but I think it was actually Katusha and Daniel going at it. Katusha gets the move up on Daniel. Daniel gets it back. I feel like Katusha's really, with that wing, will have better control, I feel like, through some of those corners. Although I don't have good experience with these cars, batteries, and missing front wings, doesn't quite make it too wide around the final corner heading onto the final lap. Over to you, Patrick.
Thank you, Phoenix. And yeah, this is gonna get really punchy. I know tempers are probably flaring right now between Katusha and Daniel. So Daniel's gonna try another lunge up the inside. Oh, but he goes a bit too deep, and that's gonna give Katusha another spot. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact once again. Zax is back up in the top five. So granted, that'll be pretty much the best position he could potentially hope for. But jumping back up to the battle for the podium, it is gonna be a hard-fought battle for that P3 between Katusha and Daniel. Dito's gonna jump both of them at this stage. So Dana rocks. He needs to be careful because there is a lot of things that would have certainly warranted him at least a trip to the steward's room in this race. And I think Katusha on that last lap did get a little aggravated. So, and yeah, just once again, Daniel going for a massive lunge up the inside. The Red Bull is being a Red Bull in a China shop right now, as the Williams of Katusha does have a straight line advantage coming through. The positions will trade on through, and they are both going way off there. And they both just went super far into the run. They went so far on the runoff, it actually made my frames drop a bit. But coming through the final corner now, they said it was impossible. They said there was no method to his madness, but there is madness to his methods. Liam de Reenberg wins the Bahrain preseason race, and it's going to be a battle. I think Katusha will get P3, and Dito will get promoted to P2 here. It's a double Williams podium. Daniel Rocks gets dropped down into P4. And then Zach's user will get a top 5 finish for Cadillac. And a good race of just staying clean, staying consistent as Aiden is Raiden trying to chase down that top 5. He had such a good start here, but unfortunately just due to mistakes and just over-braking himself, it did all come to an end as Aiden and his Raider will take a P6. Zach's user running up the top 5. And I know tempers are going to be flaring. There's been some really aggressive racing here. And yeah, I know this wasn't probably the cleanest preseason race. May have been clean on track, but I know the impromptu game update that has just been thrown around did throw a wrench into the works. We will be talking with our race winner here of Liam de Reenberg after we go through our results. And then that'll be our sole interview of the night, aside from the one we did impromptu earlier on. So we're going to run through our race results here. And interestingly enough, I feel like there's no driver of the day this time around. So it's going to be Liam de Reenberg taking the race win for Aston Martin. And then Dito, Katusha, Daniel Rocks, Zach's user, and then Aina's Rated, Huddy the Goat, Hogo Pogo, Koopa Troopa, Ryan Adair, TMT Legend, Noah Huney, and then Crutter, Sleepy, Goats for Life, Champs of London, Axe, Sick Party, RJ, Slushy, Cookbus, and Fat Cat, who a majority of those were AI drivers up at the end. But that is indeed our race done, dusted, and delivered. But before we go anywhere, it is one quick interview with the man himself. So, Liam, how do you feel after that race here, getting a win in one of your first races, unless this is your first preseason race, with Aston Martin?
It was fantastic, to be honest, Truckers. It was a very, very good race. The whole really top 7, even top 8. We were fighting for the win throughout that entire first stint, and it was just a really good battling between us. Second stint, it was more the top 4 of us. It's been myself, Danny Rocks, Katusha, Adido. Big shout out to Danny Rocks. We were in VC together, and we were helping each other out a bit. And the whole race was just really good fun. It's the first time I've actually won anything in Rush, any kind of preseason race. I mean, I won a 3-lapper, but that doesn't really matter. It was a really good race, basically, Eric. It's a really good race.
Well, it would have helped if I would have unmuted myself on OBS. But anyways, yeah, it's getting your first win in a league is always fantastic stuff, and you love to see it. So it's probably going to be the first of many. You had a really good drive, a really strong commanding drive in that Aston Martin, your first race as a TP, and yeah, it's been a very, very good race. Looking ahead at the season opener at Abu Dhabi, I don't know if you're doing any more of the preseason races, but how do you feel after that performance? Or sorry, how do you feel about going into Abu Dhabi?
I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest. I'm feeling very, very happy with my pace at the moment, but to be honest, the pace is a little bit too good. Some, my chances of being in Div 2 going down at the moment. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to be in Div 1 where things are harder, but overall, I'm very happy with my pace at the moment. I'm still lacking a little bit in quali, but race pace is very good. Abu Dhabi, I'm very fond of that track. If there's a preseason race there, I will be there for that for sure.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a fun season. Looking forward to seeing where everybody is placed. Congratulations on your race win, and I'll pass you over to Phoenix if they have any other questions or comments.
Well, I have more of a comment, I guess. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't really see the better half of the back end of that race, but then I could see the end through some lovely thing called screen sharing, which didn't actually lag the stream too much, which is impressive. Now, you were what turned out to be one of the few drivers who didn't get plagued by, well, EA issues this race. So you had that going for you, plus that was just an interesting but very clean race in general. Well done on the win.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty then, everybody, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up here in preseason. We do have more preseason races yet to come throughout the week. Tomorrow will be another fantastic preseason event, and it is going to be a good time here. If today's race is anything to go by, should be even better now that the update should be well and truly done. I swear if they throw another update tomorrow, I might actually cry. But anyways, all jokes aside, a massive thank you to you guys for jumping in here tonight. I know we had some teething issues, we had some tech issues. Thank you for sticking in with us through all of that. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. On behalf of Phoenix, my name's been Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, and we have been your hosts and commentators for tonight's action. And we will see you next time. Stay hydrated and have a good night. Goodbye.